chat. Hey, breaking news. Breaking news. The Jeffrey Epstein court documents have been unsealed. Well, many of them. And they've named your favorite people, including but not limited to Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and some other people. It's not as salacious. This isn't like the most damning information that's going to come out from this, but it is just new stuff. There are some people that were named in this that probably people didn't expect. Apparently 200 names. And more will come out over time. But there are people that you wouldn't expect on the list, yeah. I guess we'll just read it. Hundreds of pages of unsealed documents from a lawsuit connected to accused sex trafficker. We can just call him sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, right? He's dead also. Were publicly released on Wednesday. This is the first set of documents to be unsealed under December 18th court order, with more expected in the coming weeks. The documents in total include material yet to be unsealed, are expected to include nearly 200 names, including some of Epstein's accusers, prominent business people, politicians, and potentially more. The first batch of documents didn't appear to contain any bombshell revelations. Much of the information in them has already been released through media reports and other court proceedings, but it is the first time these documents filed with a court have been released through the legal system. Attorneys for Ghislaine Maxwell said in a statement Wednesday, she has consistently and vehemently maintained her innocence. How are you going to pretend that you are innocent when you're this connected to that? Wouldn't that be shocking if she's like actually innocent of all of this? What it seems like it will be is that if anything, she'll get some kind of like benefit from cooperation if she chooses to do that at some point, but who knows? I thought I saw a tweet where it just gave the a list of the like big names on it, so I can make sure that I get that to you, because I don't know if the CNN article is going to get as granular as that. And they don't have a link. I looked through several of these posts, like all the different news sources. I went to NPR and I checked PBS and AP and stuff like that, and not seeing a link to the actual documents that I can just pull up, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Jeez. The documents contain excerpts from depositions taken of Maxwell and Virginia Roberts Guthrie. There's also a deposition from Johanna Soberg, who in the document prescribed Prince Andrew touching her breast in a joking manner while taking photos. Prince Andrew not going to have a good one, I guess. The ink. Soberg's story has been public, but this is the first time her deposition has been unsealed. She worked sometimes for Epstein, and she said that he pressured her to go beyond her comfort level many times in giving sexualized messages. Prince Andrew and Virginia Guthrie previously reached an out-of-court settlement in her sexual abuse lawsuit against him. According to the court document filed by her attorneys Tuesday, Andrew has denied the allegations against him, though he gave her millions of dollars in the fucking... Yeah, how do you give someone millions of dollars when you didn't wrong them, right? Would you just be like confidently like, yeah, I mean, I didn't do this. Go ahead, take me to court. Prove it. The deposition transcripts include references to several prominent names, as has been previously reported, including Andrew as well as Bill Clinton, the former U.S. president. Which is not surprising at all. But we all know Bill Clinton's a little creep. He said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls, she said. When asked if Clinton was a friend of Epstein, she said she understood Epstein had dealings with Clinton. Ooh, dealings. A spokesman for Clinton confirmed in 2019 that the former president had flown on Epstein's private plane, but said Clinton knew nothing of the financier's terrible crimes. A Clinton spokesman on Wednesday... How... Of all the people not to know... If you're Jeffrey Epstein and you're like, I have a pedophile island, you're not floating that to Bill Clinton? Hello? Gonna go out on a limb and say Jeffrey Epstein liked having other pedophiles at his pedophile island? would be quite shocked to not hear that he intimated to Bill Clinton that he could get some illegal activity on the sex island. God, imagine Bill Clinton learning of a sex island and not immediately flying a private jet there. A Clinton spokesman on Wednesday reiterated that 2019 denial and told CNN that it has now been nearly 20 years since President Clinton had any contact with Epstein. Clinton has not been accused of any crimes or wrongdoing related to Epstein. In her deposition, Johanna Soberg also recalled a time she was with Epstein on one of his planes and pilots informed them they needed to land in Atlantic City. Epstein then suggested they contact Donald Trump. Jeffrey said, great, we'll call Trump and we'll go to, I don't recall the name of the casino, but we'll go to the casino, Soberg said. Soberg later said in her deposition that she never gave a massage to Trump. Trump is not accused of wrongdoing related to the Epstein documents. To Epstein in the documents. CNN has reached out to Trump campaign for comment. Guthrie alleged in her deposition that Maxwell directed her to have sexual contact with people, including former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson, Prince Andrew, tech guru Marvin Minsky, well-known French modeling scout Jean-Luc Brunel, and American investor Glenn Dubin. It sounds a little bit like, a lot of it like, Ghislaine Maxwell ran the honeypot operation for Epstein. A Dubin spokesperson said in a statement in 2019 when Guthries, is it Jeffrey? Guthries allegations were previously made public that Glenn and Ava Dubin are outraged. American investor Glenn Dubin. Everyone knows the Glenn Dubins. Let's look up Glenn Dubin. What's a Glenn Dubin do? Look at this guy. You ever seen a guy look more like a Glenn Dubin in your whole life? I knew that guy's name was Glenn Dubin without looking at him. Or without seeing it. You know what I mean? In reverse order, I could have gotten this. Name this man without any information. Glenn Dubin. Out of the ether. He's a wealth manager. He's a hedge fund guy. Known for his philanthropy. Aw. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett links. Wow. Dubin and Jeffrey Epstein. There are several connections between Dubin and Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein invested millions in Dubin's hedge fund and helped J.P. Morgan acquire Dubin's firm. Epstein had dated Dubin's wife for nearly a decade in the 80s, and they maintained a close relationship with Epstein traveling on his private jets. Vacationing together with their families and visiting each other's homes frequently.
I hope you
they were swinging, dude.
Fantastic day.
Dude Ledoux, thanks to 13 months, allegedly. Including after Epstein's arrest for sex trafficking in 2006. After his arrest, they hung out with him. In 2015, Virginia Robert Guthrie alleged in a lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell that Maxwell had directed her to have sex with Dubin. Jeffrey did not allege that she had, in fact, had sex with Dubin. Anyway, Dubin's spokesperson said that Glenn and Eva Dubin are outraged by the allegations against them in the unsealed court records and categorically rejected them. Outraged. The statement was widely reported. They were super big friends with Epstein. Huh. Same portion of that deposition still has 3 unnamed people that were not revealed Wednesday. Jeffrey alleges Maxwell directed her to have sexual relations with an unnamed prince and the owner of a large hotel chain and a completely redacted out name. It is not clear from the document whether Jeffrey subsequently had sexual contact with any of the people named. Other records unsealed are legal motions filed by the attorneys. The documents are filed, so that's the first part of them, I guess, is this part. And then there are other legal filings. But it seems to be right now we're at the vague posting section of this. Like, ooh, a prince, and I was asked to have sex with him, but there's no telling what happened. Insert Charlie Kelly trying to say philanthropist. I don't remember. Philanthropist. Other records unsealed. The documents are filings from a settled case brought by Virginia Roberts Guthrie, an American woman who claimed Epstein sexually abused her as a minor and that Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend, aided in the abuse. Many of the alleged victims and associates have given public interviews and have already been identified in the media. Inclusion in the newly unredacted documents is not an indication of wrongdoing or lawbreaking. Some victims' names remain. I love the legal need to do that. Some victims' names remain redacted due to the sensitive nature of the crimes. According to the court filings, Epstein was indicted in 2019 on federal charges of operating a sex trafficking ring in which he allegedly sexually abused dozens of underage girls. Epstein died by suicide, air quotes, in jail while awaiting trial. Prosecutors in New York indicted Maxwell on sex trafficking charges involving multiple victims. She was convicted in 2021. And I mean, like, the odds, like, so convicted of sex trafficking, and which means that they were trafficked for sex, which means they had sex with people, and all these people are the people that are being offered the sex, but there's no telling on whether or not they had the sex. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's pretty obvious this is part of the operation. They wouldn't have. Do you think just. Do Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell have a pedophile island, private jet, secret billionaire, millionaire, elite sex island compound situation, get both convicted of sex trafficking, and also none of the people they ever invited to that island with the sex trafficking that was occurring ever engaged in it? That's how it's supposed to go? That's how these people are pretending it's going to go. Essentially, I feel like people are just trying to stall this so that some of the people involved either die from old age because they're all elderly old people, or maybe can get in power and seal this stuff off. Yeah, they just liked Jeff. They're just like, man, this Jeff guy. He's got a private jet, and man, there's lots of teenagers around here in scantily clad clothing, serving me drinks and offering me sex all the time. That sure is weird. Certainly has nothing, and it's a private island. They just swam here. A lot of free-range teenagers around here, Jeffrey. Yeah, I don't know where they came from. They're running wild and free. You think Bill Clinton's not going to try to fucking run out into the fields and chase after some teenagers, playing his saxophone like the guitar guy at the island, except he's got the sax. Anyway, I would be shocked to find out that any of these people are innocent of their contact with Jeffrey Epstein, and the ones that are innocent, still sussy, still quite sussy. You can view the FBI files on his case. Though they're heavily redacted right now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't write in the papers that he's a pedophile. True. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the next batch of these to see if people, see which people are definitely criminals. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of this where you kind of wait to see what shakes out with Trump's other legal case to see if there's enough in this to keep going. I don't know.